the glamorous queen herself, and we're gearing up for hot girl summer, so you know a gorgeous curly look is everything you need. But this one has the curly edges you've all been raving about, so let's get into it because you know I love a good slay. To be fair, this is like the obligatory unboxing. I like to show this. It gets repetitive, but I want you all to know what to expect, which is why I feel like I just need to include it. But the star of the show is not only these curls, but these gorgeous coily curly edges. But honey, this is pre-bleached, it's pre-plucked. You can essentially put it right on your head. But for me, I have to wash my wigs. So on the left, you guys see how it looks straight out of the box, and then on the right is after I do my shampoo and co-wash. Honey, I love these voluminous curls. They're very soft and fluffy, and the curly edges are intact, but the ear tabs are a little bit too long, so I'm going in to trim away a portion of the lace and a bit of the hairline so that the lace can lay flat. This is part of the reason why your wigs may not be laying the way that you'd like. Sometimes it requires you to take off a little bit of the lace edge or the ear tab, and this is a step I recommend before you attempt to install your unit. I'm doing a glueless install method, and my favorite product to use is the hardhead spray. And instead of spraying it on top of the lace, initially I'm going to spray the hardhead spray underneath the lace. After applying 2 very thin layers, I'm going to position the lace in place, ensuring that the hairline is exactly where I want it to be. With the curly edge hairline, you don't really want to get too much product onto the curls itself. When placing the elastic band, be sure to place it just behind the curly edges. That was a mistake I made in the past. Again, you know, you learn and you can do a little bit better. And you want to allow the band to set for about 5 minutes. Before I even begin to trim the lace, I want to trim the lace in sections. And if you notice a bit of white residue from when you trimmed away the lace, just use a little bit of the hardhead spray and press it into the lace front edge. And I'm telling you, it will melt right away. Okay, so let's talk about my favorite thing ever, adult swoops. Okay, baby hairs, if you will, but I like to call them adult swoops. They're soft, they're subtle. I'm using a fine tooth comb to detangle and brush down the curly edges. I like to establish my middle part so that that gives me a guide as to where I want my adult swoops to lay. If you prefer a side part, do the same thing just to create a guide. Hear me out. If you want to try something a little bit different, maybe you find that your adult swoops are a little bit too thick or too heavy, use less hair to do your swoops. That's where I started trying to improve upon my technique. So there's a lot of hair in the curly edge hairline, and so my goal is to use this dual end brush and section out a very small amount of hair, and you want to do this from ear to ear. I'm going to be taking a small set of scissors and trimming the length of the curly edges. Again, I don't want them to be too thick, nor do I want them to be too long. And with some Nairobi Rapid setting foam, I'm going to swoop. You don't want to do a C shape. Think about when you're icing a cake and you want to kind of create a decorative finish. It's a swoop. It's soft. If you find that you're making like a semicircle, maybe try to be a little bit more loose and kind of like effortless with the swoop. And I never do this, so for the sideburns, I wanted a little curve vibe, you know what I'm saying? I'm having a little bit of fun. That's one thing about these type of units, you can have a little bit more fun, and even if you make mistakes, the curls are there to like disguise, you know, any imperfections, even if we can call it that, because sometimes your imperfections just make your style more unique to you, and we love that. Now, RPG Hair is having their tax return sale. So if you use the code TAX, you can get anywhere from $20 to $40 to $70 off depending on the total amount of your order. Now is the time. The great thing about these units is they're pre-bleached, they're pre-plucked, so they're ready for you to install it. If you want to do glueless using fewer products than I use, or you want to use my method, or you want to use, you know, some lace adhesive, you have options. Now I'm gonna let my hairline dry down because I do want to wrap it with an elastic band, of course, behind the hairline. And your band should be flying off just like that. That's how you know you allowed it to dry properly and it's on point. Okay, so one of the girls had mentioned, you know, tweezing the parting space, and I completely agree. I just got out of the habit of doing it. You can use pressed powder if you don't feel like tweezing. You know, I did a little something. And please keep in mind, this is the only heat I applied to this wig. I need a round of applause. I did not touch the hairline. I only focused on the parting space because I don't want hump action. If you don't want a hump in the middle of your head, please use the hot comb and make sure to slick down the base of the part near the crown, because you don't want to be clockable. And I know I do a lot in these tutorials, but what I found is that I need to use less products for the curls. I'm only spraying and misting this with water. And then I'm going to add a little bit of jojoba oil for some shine, some luster, some softness, and then a touch of sealing spray because it smells so damn good and it just creates a nice cute shine on top. And that's all you need. I'm telling you, that's it. This hair is so pretty. I can, what should my alter ego name be? Because like if you hear the name Devereaux, you don't really know how it could go. And then when I show up, oh, it's crazy. Look at me. I'm really trying to come up with a name. You got to have at least 5 names in your arsenal. Okay, ready to go. Okay, so I went about my business and I let about 2 to 3 hours pass, and you guys can see how the hair looks once it dries down. It's a little bit more voluminous, but I wanted to create even more volume. So I'm using my fingers to separate the curls. These curls are gorgeous. Oh, and I'll be sure to include the detangling brush that I used because you need it 110%. Do not brush out those curls with a paddle brush. And as for the hairline, I'm going to take a touch of the Nairobi mousse and I'm just twirling my finger ever so gently around in a circle from ear to ear across the hairline. And you can even separate the curls into smaller pieces if you want a more voluminous look around the hairline. I did that, okay? Now, the only thing is, if you wrap your hair at night, it's going to flatten the curls. I actually have been going to bed without wrapping my hair, and the hair still looks damn good, and it's laid. Oh, and here's another way to wear this style, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Again, if you're not adding this to your cart, what are you waiting for? Definitely be sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you're new here, subscribe, because the slayage it's going to be in heavy rotation, so I want you to keep up and turn those post notifications on. Kiki with me in the comments, and share this with your homeboys and your homegirls. Take care of yourself, be kind to others, and I hope I see you in the next one.